I'm back on Facebook live stream, yay! Seriously, I'm going to be obsessive about Facebook live stream for about a week. And I'm giving it a week because I think it's a really cool way to get in touch with you all and to deliver some serious value in my content. And the other great thing is that I'd had this idea that I was going to give or put loads of videos in the group on YouTube, and I was like, I'll give them more YouTube links, it'll go really well, it'll be really exciting. And then Facebook live stream appeared, and I was like, this is brilliant, because what it actually means for me is that I don't have to sit and wait for hours and hours and hours for just one video to rock up and load up into YouTube. So I thought I would kind of play around with timings and things to see what is best for people. And oh, you can't hear me, hang on, there we go. Can you hear me now? I don't know whether I've just put the phone on the microphone, so awkward. But if you can't hear me, shout, and I'll talk louder or something. So, in terms of what I wanted to chat to you about tonight, because I'm playing around with times on Facebook Live, I wanted to talk about discovery calls and how to, hey Nadia, nice to have you on board and on Facebook Live, woo. So I wanted to talk to you about discovery calls and about a couple of basic things, because I think we sometimes get stuck between what a discovery call is and free coaching. And a question that I've had a lot over the last couple of weeks is, how do I get somebody to convert on a discovery call? I seem to be giving lots and lots of free coaching, and then they don't buy from me. Now, that's really normal. It's a really common problem, but actually your discovery call is exactly that. It's an opportunity for you to talk to that client or potential client and actually decide whether you two are a good fit to work together. So on the discovery call itself, generally there shouldn't really be that much coaching going on. Okay, and so what I mean by that is that it's absolutely great to help somebody have a transformative moment in their business, and so it's really good and really useful to have a really powerful conversation with them. But actually, you want them to be realizing those beliefs on their own as a result of the questions that you're asking them. So a discovery call is all about opening up questions, gathering intelligence and gathering information around what your prospective client actually wants from a coach, and being able to work out whether you are the right person for them, and then being perfectly honest about that. So if you've got any questions about discovery call, shout them in the comments. I will answer them as I go along, but I just kind of wanted to share a really basic agenda for a discovery call, so that when you set out your next call, you can go into it knowing that you don't have to coach for an hour and a half, but you've got a clear schedule that works and that actually leaves you open to pitch on that call really happily, with the prospective client being totally happy with that and ready to kind of listen and buy from you. Okay, cool. So when you jump on a discovery call, the first thing I do, I get really excited, because I'm always excited to talk to new people and get to know them. But I always set an agenda. So I'll get on a call with somebody, and because they've booked in for 30 minutes of my time and 30 minutes of theirs, I don't ever want them to waste it. So what I'll do right at the beginning is set an agenda and say, hey, look, this is what we're going to cover in the call today. So I'll outline that for them and say, look, first off, I'm going to ask you a few questions about your business, about what you want to achieve, and then we'll talk about why you haven't got there yet and what's stopping you from achieving those goals. And then afterwards, if it feels right, what I'm going to do is share how we can potentially work together in the future. How's that sound? So you leave it nice and open. You prepare them for exactly what's going to happen in the call. They know that you're going to ask them for information. They know that you're going to be talking about the reasons that they may not have been able to get as far in their business as they'd like. Hey, Lindsay. And then they know that at the end, if and only if you feel like you're going to be able to help them and really benefit them, that you're going to actually share with them how you can work together in the future. So that's really cool, because it leaves you open to being able to pitch with them in a safe environment. And so by asking, is that all okay? And them saying yes, you know that they're already interested in working with you. Okay, so you already know right at the beginning that this call has been done in the right way, that you've screened them or qualified them correctly, and they've come to the call looking to understand whether you are the right person for them to work with in the future. Hey Jane, this is so cool. It's so cool to see people on here. This is awesome. But yeah, so if you've got questions about discovery calls, pop them in the comments and I can answer specific ones. But I was just running through there the agenda of how I work on my discovery calls. Now, if you get somebody who you go through the agenda and you say, look, you know, at the end, if it feels right, I'm going to talk to you about how we can potentially work together in future. And they say, oh, no, I don't want a coach, or I'm already working with a coach. That's absolutely fine. What I usually do in that instance is say, okay, cool. These discovery calls are usually for me to understand and for you to understand whether we'd be a good fit to work together in the future. So perhaps it might be more useful for me to understand your key question, and then I can direct you to one of my free resources so that you can take a look at that might add some more value. That way you set that person up and you give them the understanding that actually you want to help them and that you absolutely want to add value, but that you want to do it in the best, most efficient way for them. Because nobody wants to be sat on a discovery call for 30 minutes, not getting any coaching when that was what they were expecting, and then being pitched at the end. That's where people feel like sales is a little bit sleazy and a little bit uncomfortable. Does that all make sense? I'm hoping that you guys can all hear me and stuff still. But yeah, so that would be the most important part for me about a discovery call. And I think over the next couple of weeks, what I'm going to be doing is raising a challenge and raising some kind of questions around discovery calls. So if you have questions, if you have bits of your discovery call that you really struggle with, that you find more difficult than others, thank you, Nadia. Yay, I'm glad it makes sense. Then if you have those bits that you struggle with, you have questions, you find that you're getting lots of discovery calls booked but you're not converting any, or you're finding it difficult to actually book discovery calls in the first place, let me know, because then I can make sure that we run a challenge in the group so that we're actually all starting to book more discovery calls, starting to see more clients, and actually doing it in a way that is effective and that works for you and your business. So if anybody wants a challenge, if anybody wants to do a challenge on discovery calls, let me know. Write them in the comments or send me a message or put a little graphic in the group that says, I want a challenge on discovery calls. Mainly because that would be really cool and really entertain me. But yeah, so if you've got any questions, you want to know how to book more discovery calls, you have specific objections that you get faced with on discovery calls all the time, and you want to know how to handle them, pop it in the comments. You've got probably about another 3 minutes before I decide that I should stop rambling and go and make a cup of tea or something like that. So if you've got questions, hit me up in the comments and I will answer them and tailor them to your business right now. Which is the cool part about Facebook Live, is that I can give you like live answers to any burning questions that you do have about discovery calls. And also there's like 9 people viewing this from the group. Should it be 30 minutes or an hour? Good question. Personally, I stick to 30 minutes. The reason being that an hour for me is quite a long time to ask lots of questions and not give any coaching. So if you give an hour-long discovery call, it's quite likely that the people who are involved in your discovery call are going to expect some coaching throughout that call at some point. If you keep it to 30 minutes and you pre-qualify your prospective buyer, either through a pre-qualification questionnaire or through a Facebook message chat or however you want to do it, then actually you can get everything that you need from that discovery call in 30 minutes, and it also makes it slightly more time effective for you. So if you're anything like me, I tend to book in discovery calls on one day of the week. So on a Wednesday, I'm usually very focused about talking to new people and getting all of my discovery calls booked for a Wednesday afternoon, because it's a specific time in my diary where I can really block out business development and talking to potential customers. And it also means that I'm doing the same thing all day. So I'm hearing the same kind of problems all day, I'm looking at the same sort of things all day, and actually it gives me the best focus to kind of talk to people and get to know them and their businesses. Yay, Tanya's here. Woo! It's so exciting. Like, this is so much more fun than Periscope because I actually know the people that are on live. Which really entertains me, and it's like there's no trolls asking me to, you know, lift my top or whatever, which would happen on Periscope, just saying. But yeah, so if you guys have got any more questions, pop them in the comments. Nadia, I hope that answered your question. In terms of them being 30 minutes for an hour, you know, stick it to 30 minutes. If you go over, if you ask lots more questions, if you two really click and you get on, absolutely, no worries, no worries. The other thing is, and I get this question quite a lot with regards to time frames on discovery calls. Will people pay in half an hour? Will people pay for a high-end premium service if they're only getting a half an hour free discovery call? Actually, yes. And I think, you know, my record time for getting somebody to say yes and pay is 13 minutes on the call with me. And the reason the reason it's so quick is because actually you should be building relationships with those people, and you should be pre-qualifying them before they even get on that call with you. So in their mind, they've already built that relationship with you. And so what they're actually doing is just kind of finalizing the details, getting the last bit of reassurance, if you like. So if you're anything like me, you've probably been and bought a car at some point, and before you've even bought the car, you've probably looked online. So you've gone on the car website, or you've gone onto Auto Trader, or whatever you have, and you know everything about that car. So by the time you walk into a sales room, you're not even thinking about, okay, do I really want that car? You know that you want that specific car, but you want that last minute reassurance. You want to drive it. You want to see how it works. You want to see if it feels right, if it's comfortable, if it meets your expectations in real life. And that's exactly the same with the discovery call. You know, it doesn't matter how long the call is. The fact is, you'll have already generated some kind of relationship with that person. And for them, it's like a last minute reassurance thing. It's like the last hurdle they have to overcome is to have a chat with you and just get to know that you really are the same person in real life as you are online. Does that all make sense? Hopefully it does. And I say does that all make sense a lot. I've got to stop doing that because I know it makes sense. I just want to know if you guys are on the same lines as me there. Cool. Cool. So, are there any more questions about discovery calls? Does anybody struggle to book discovery calls, or... Thanks, Nadia. Yeah, no, I'm terrible. It's like a filler thing for me, I think. I just say it all the time. And it drives my mum nuts, because I'll say we'll go shopping together, and she'll say, oh, those pair of jeans look nice. And I'll go, yeah, but, you know, I'm just not sure on dark blue, because it kind of makes my bum look big. Does that make sense? And she's like... Oh. So it's not just a business thing. I do it all the time. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody struggle booking discovery calls? Does anybody struggle with objections? Are there specific objections? Do you worry about how to handle them? Do people worry about the money conversation? Because that's one that often comes up. If you do, shout me up and we'll talk about it. Which is cool. This is so cool. I don't really know how I see people on here, but I think I can like your comments. Oh, I can. Okay, there we go. Cool. And I think that there's a little button in the top so that you can like follow me so that you know when I'm online. And there's a little button at the bottom where you can share it, but I don't know. I'm kind of playing around with Facebook Live. I promise I'm going to get better at it. Tanya, you've written, I feel loke. I'm not really sure what you mean. Let me know, and I promise I will answer you on that one, but that did make me giggle. Okay, oops. Okay, like people are over discovery calls. Ooh, I liked that. You feel like people are over discovery calls. Who else feels like that out of interest? Does anybody else, if you do, comment yes or comment no. If you feel like people are over discovery calls, how many people think yes? If you think that people are fazed by so many of them being offered. So if you guys think that people don't want discovery calls anymore, like people are totally over the idea of having a discovery call with a coach, comment yes. If you feel like people love discovery calls with coaches, or that at least they find them useful, comment no, because I genuinely would like to know what people think about that. In terms of, and I guess this comes down to how business, and especially online business, how it's changed over the last 12 months. So last year, we saw a real influx of these kind of posts that were a little bit inauthentic, that said, hey, I've got only 5 spots left in my diary to talk to 5 amazing soulpreneurs or heart-centered entrepreneurs or whatever entrepreneurs this year. And I'd love it to be you. Comment yes below if you want one of these exclusive free spots. And the problem with those posts, there's nothing wrong with them in the sense that they were talking about discovery calls, but that it was just a little bit inauthentic, because people were thinking that they were getting free coaching sessions, and then obviously they were going onto the discovery call and they were being pitched for something that potentially they didn't actually want or need, and that they didn't realise they'd actually signed up for. So yes, we had that kind of phase, and then we moved into a phase where people stopped putting out those posts, and they stopped doing the kind of I've got 5 spots left in my diary thing, and where we moved into, I guess, a more relationship-based way of offering discovery calls. And I think discovery calls themselves, if they are talked about in the right way, if they're offered authentically, if they're offered as a call that is designed to actually help you get to know whether you and that specific coach or online business owner or service-based entrepreneur is the right fit for you, then discovery calls are still popular, because people will always want to talk to the person behind the screen. However, there are better ways of advertising discovery calls, and there are easier ways of converting people off of a non-traditional discovery call. So you could potentially run things like free makeover assessments, free strategy sessions that are actually free and pitch free, and you would be more likely to convert them into a discovery call because people can see your value. And obviously we kind of have to take, I'm just going to move my glasses up a bit, but obviously we have to take into account the fact that the market is changing, and that it's always changing, and that we have, yes, we have enough clients for everybody, but we also get an influx of new coaches that are starting out the same as everybody else did at one point. And so what actually happens is we see every few months there tends to be like an influx each quarter of people advertising discovery calls, and then the confusion kind of starts again. If I was a new coach or a new entrepreneur starting out, what I would probably do is be more tempted to offer a free assessment, or a total, and by free assessment I mean totally pitch free assessment, or I would be more likely to offer a totally pitch free strategy call, and then actually convert that into a discovery call by showing people what I could actually do and how I could actually benefit them, and giving them some immediate value, because that's what people buy into. People want to buy from people who are authentic, who have integrity, and who actually, people want to buy from people that can do what they say they will, and that's the key thing. So I think people aren't over discovery calls, people are over the inauthentic sales pitch fests that they once kind of were, and they want them to be a bit more real, for people to pre-qualify, and for people to, make it known that actually if you are booking a discovery call with them, you are booking time with them to discuss a paid program or how they could be a good fit, rather than kind of pitching something that's free and then it actually not being that free and coming with a pitch, because a pitch is a cost. Does that... I'm not going to say it, but does that help in terms of your mindset? Because, I think about it, I mean, Tanya's a client of mine, so I can say that, but think about the reason you got on a call with me. You got on a call with me initially to connect and to build a relationship, and I spent time genuinely giving you value on that call, which meant that actually what you saw was someone who could add value to your business. And so you proactively said to me, could you book a discovery call? How could you book a discovery call, and how could you work with me? And actually, you know, in that sense, the discovery call was exactly what I've just set out. It was a call to assess whether we would genuinely be a really good fit to work together. And that came from a pure connection call. So that's why I think if I was a new entrepreneur starting out, then I would definitely go down the strategy assessment, or the, you know, people call them money makeovers and lots of different things. But I would be more tempted to give immediate value through one of those and convert it into a discovery call if you're struggling to book discovery calls, then write out one of these posts in a Facebook group that says, hey, I've got 5 slots, because everybody knows you don't really just have 5 slots in your diary. You know, the only time I will ever use numbers, and it's rare that I will ever say I've only got X amount of slots in my diary, or I've only got X amount of spots, is because I actually do have that. But that's because I'm somebody that works from a place of integrity and would find it really difficult to lie about that. And it just wouldn't make any sense. Otherwise, I'm the sort of person that's like, hey, book a discovery call with me, or hey, come and join me for a strategy assessment, or, you know, just come and talk to me because I'm lonely. So, you know, if you're going to use numbers, if you're going to say I've only got a certain amount of slots in my diary, make sure you do. Make sure you only have that amount of slots in your diary. Don't kind of hedge it, because it's just not cool, and it will make you feel a bit crap. And people in this industry talk, you know, it's an incestuous little market. We all know each other. Everybody knows each other and each other's coaches, and you want to be known as that person that gives value, that is authentic, that tells the truth, and that, you know, genuinely sells people things that they actually need, and isn't just kind of running for the cash. Cool. I'm feeling pretty cool actually about this whole Facebook Live thing. It makes me feel a little bit like a celebrity, or somebody that should be on television, which is quite a weird feeling actually. I may have to practice this a bit, you know, feel like when my boyfriend comes home or something, I'll be like, oh my goodness, I was on Facebook Live yesterday, and I'll just look really cool, and he'll be like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. So, but yeah, if anybody's got any more questions, if you want to know anything about discovery calls, if you want to know how to book them, if you want to participate in the challenge on discovery calls, or you want me to hold a challenge about discovery calls, I've got one planned, but if you want me to run it sooner, i.e. over the next couple of weeks, then let me know, because I love discovery calls mainly because it leads to clients, and I love working with clients that I adore. So if you want to do it, then let me know. If you want to, you know, get me to help you with your discovery calls, or if you've got specific questions, comments. If you want me to help you on discovery calls, but you don't want to share it in the comments because you, like me, are a little bit scared, I'm sometimes doing that in public, pop me a message on Facebook, and if I can give you some really cool tailored advice, then I will. And also, guess what? I've got 5 spots available in my diary. I'm joking. I'm joking. But seriously, if you do want to ever talk to me about discovery calls or about sales assessments, please just drop me a message on Facebook, pop me in a post in the group, or ask your burning questions with a really cool graphic, because I love that kind of stuff. Okay, I will speak to you guys really, really soon. Thanks for joining me this evening. I will be here every single day, even weekends, on Facebook Live, talking about sales bits of your business. So if you're obsessed with sales at the moment and you want to make more sales, hit the little follow button in the corner, which is above my head on one side, I just can't remember which, so that you get access to all of these, and so that every time I pop up you get a little notification that says Jess is back, or something really cool. Alright then, I'll speak to you guys really soon. Have a good night!